or something like social media because they don't want to report about it. But people see it in inner cities in Germany. If you go to the railway stations, random knife stabbings happen daily. You can say it's crazy and it's unacceptable. Why we have to protect our Christmas markets with security all over the place? You know, when I was a kid, there was nobody was ever thinking that you need any security in a Christmas market. That's where we are right now, but it all gets justified by I don't know who, but the people went sideways, you know, and it has to be starting in schools, going to universities. I mean, otherwise, it's you cannot explain it. How people cannot see the facts and say, look, why we should go in a risk, in an economic risk, but also in a security risk for basically anybody.
Sure.
You know, I mean, it's not necessary. I don't know that I owe people something from Somalia or Senegal or Syria.
No, of course you don't. You don't owe them anything. You know, your government owes you safety and security. That's why we all pay taxes to our government officials, right? To run things for us, to keep the roads and bridges in check, to keep the schools and lights open, to keep the sewers and water flowing. That's their job, to keep fire and police working for us. And yet, so many nations, especially in Europe, are putting the immigrants first. And when you bring people from a third world Islamic country, and by the way, thank you for pointing that out in your film multiple times. Those were the scenes I was rewinding going, did he really tackle that issue? And I'm rewinding some of your main star Armie Hammer's lines going, wow, thank God. This is the problem that nobody wants to touch on, is that you can't bring in people who believe in an ideology. I don't even call it a religion because I think it is a crazed, almost cult-like civilization ideology, right? That's what Islam is to me. And you look at that and you bring them in from Pakistan, Iraq, Afghanistan, the Sudan, wherever, you plop them down in Germany, France, Britain, Ireland, Scotland, and then say assimilate. They don't want to. They like Sharia law. They like their way of life. And then they don't assimilate, they commit crimes, and then you have your politicians making excuses for them, calling them the victims along with the victims that they're perpetrating in their crimes, whether it's rape, murder, robbery, whatever it is. And I, like you, am sick and tired of it. I had a question for you. In my intro, I mentioned that one of the inspirations was that big gang rape that took place in Hamburg. And I know that was one of your inspirations. Was it deeper? You just brought up going to your Christmas markets and Christmas fairs when you were a little kid. I'm sure the old Germany that you miss. Was there something that was kind of in deep inside the young Uwe going, what happened to my Germany? Because I look at parts of America today and I go, what's happening to America? Is that kind of the driver force behind it too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I shot a movie in September in New York, and there are also some streets and parts of New York are also very critical, in critical shape, I would say. But in Germany now, in all the big cities, and you have quarters of parts of the city are completely Arabic, you can say. No, that's. I think that's all this kind of, they justify it and justify it and justify it, and then they don't want to correct it. A wrong decision never gets corrected in politics. It's my feeling. They double down then on them and they make excuse after excuse.
Right.
But another thing, for example, triggered in my case, I was sitting in Frankfurt in a restaurant and there was a whole demonstration train protected by the police. So they did a demonstration. They were all Arabs, and they were like a woman with a burqa was yelling into the crowd, the cops are pigs, 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 kill the cops. So that was the demonstration about, I'm sure, free Gaza, whatever, you know, like that was the kicker. And the cops had to go with this train, protecting this train that goes in the middle through Frankfurt, where you then, of course, you stop the traffic and all this stuff. And I felt like, are we insane? I mean,
Right.
that's the only
It feels
question.
that way, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's insanity what they're doing. It truly is.
Yes. It's
Okay, a couple more. Your film really blew up over the weekend thanks to Elon Musk. Were you surprised? I was not, that Elon took such a liking to your film, because he's been talking about the evils of mass migration and how it's ruining nations across the globe. I would assume you want to throw out a big thank you to Elon, because him posting that got millions and millions of eyeballs on your film this weekend. It made me watch.
Yeah, I think he saw little trailers and stuff, and then he basically said, look, let's blow this up right now, and it will be you know, even if it's not transferring now into money, it will transfer into success based on the whole world will talk about it.
Yes.
And so, you know, and that is where we felt like we cannot like say no to it. And it was a very good thing because now it was also seen in Germany where the population right now cannot see it. It's also totally absurd in Germany that they have stronger rules as Austria or Switzerland. Like in Austria and Switzerland, German speaking too, everybody can watch the movie.
Yeah.
But it's so absurd that in Germany, they really like, I don't know what is in their brain still wired from backwards to the Second World War or something. But the reality is, they gave me no rating. That's the thing. That's the trick. So they don't say we ban your movie, but we don't give you a rating. But without a rating, you cannot put it on Apple or Amazon. You cannot do anything. You know. So it's a trick from the government to use it.
Uwe, did I hear also? Because I think Elon may have posted, and I never trust the internet though. You're already working on a sequel. Is that true?
Yes, I'm definitely doing it.
Good for you.
I think, yeah, and I think the Citizen Vigilante should play in America the second part.
For sure. Let me too, by the way, I want to throw something on the screen because I want to remind folks. So about 2 weeks ago, we learned about those rape gangs that have been happening in just Britain, right? With that 219-page rape gang inquiry report, thanks to, I believe, the Reform Party, the conservatives in Britain, who actually care about their people. They put this report out. For 15 years, 250,000 women raped by primarily Pakistani Islamic migrants. That came out just 2 weeks ago. Great timing with the film dropping. And at the end of Uwe's film, folks, put that up. This is the message you get after you watch Citizen Vigilante. This film is dedicated to the thousands of rape and murder victims in Europe who were betrayed by our legal system. Uwe Boll, writer, director, producer of Citizen Vigilante, I'll give you the final word about your film. Thank you, sir, for having the intestinal fortitude to do a movie like this. Appreciate you. Final word to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think America, that you were the front runner of freedom of speech, and my movie is a big hit in America, and you were the first country to distribute it, you know, and I think that's why I make American movies.